kind of stuff. So this Astral Secrets video, which is going to focus on astral plane structure, or the structure of it. What are you actually seeing with your energy body sight, your etheric or astral sight, when getting into these environments? That's what I want to focus on in this video. And then the secret aspect to it will be what I've kind of like noticed a pattern with. And I honestly, I don't know if anybody else is trying to describe what I'm exactly going to describe here in this video. So I'm just kind of throwing it out there. But just what I want to express to you is the connections I have realized and sensed and experienced over the years of how my chakra system, which the primary chakra system, and the micro chakras, there's big and small, how that association with the etheric energy layer that's enmeshed into our physical body, how the chakras themselves can kind of change or heighten our astral projection experiences, like what we actually visually perceive, with our sight when we're in these OBEs. And so to start off with, some might understand this, some might not, but when we get out of body multiple times, what we notice is sometimes we get out of body on different parts of our physical body. Sometimes we can slide right downward through our feet, essentially. Sometimes we go right through the top of our head. Sometimes it's like the front of our face or throat, or your brow chakra, your sixth chakra brow area. Like one of those are kind of energetically going into engaging the first little aspect of that astral projection, as far as what you could feel energetically. A lot of times solar plex, heart chakra, and that kind of stuff. So there's different, even when you roll out, when you do the rollout OBE exit technique, right when you're engaging with that rollout, maybe half the time you'll feel stimulation on some part of your energy body as you're going through that process. At least that's what happens to me. So comment down below if you have other similar things, or some other stuff that I'm not describing that happens to you. Of course, I want to hear about it. So what I'm getting to here with the point of what I'm trying to explain is that if you start to notice exactly when you get out of body, like where are you feeling these energies? Are you feeling certain primary chakras that are getting really excited and high energy? Are they spinning faster, etc.? Wow, there is an onslaught of jetpack blowers in the neighbor's property right now, and they're going crazy over there. I hope you can still hear me. Anyhow, so my point here is this: pay attention to your etherical energy body energies, and then start to notice that when there's a certain aspect or part of your etheric energy body is tied into your astral projection experience, start to take note and see how your perspective of, as you get into the astral plane, your perspective of it, how it can be different case by case, or experience by experience, or person to person, how we're explaining these things. So here's the thing. This is from different experiences. I've noticed. Sorry, that those jetpack blowers. There's multiple jetpack blowing guys out there blowing debris around on the guy's yard. Um, can't even think right now. So my point is that if you spend your day and your meditation and your astral projection practice, and you are focusing, let's say in this example, on your crown chakra, okay, top of your head going up, right? If you're focusing on those energies um, for at least a little bit amount of time, or that day, let's say, and your consciousness is really getting that part of your energy body really excited and stimulated. Because remember, our conscious thought is enmeshed within the energetical aspects of our energy bodies, so they do respond to thought and our intentions. Okay, so if you're doing something very simplistic like that, and then you're getting out of body and you're feeling how you are going out of your body through the top of your head. Most of the time, when you get through the etherical zone or etherical plane, and you move towards the astral structure, because it's a literal structure all around us. Once you start to move towards it, you'll notice how instead of a like a grid-like plane, right? A plane going endlessly, down this way and going that way all around you, and you'll see these grid lines. Sometimes the grid lines are just very black and gray, and sometimes there's more color. There's more energy involved with it. There's more colors like yellow and orange and purple and green and so it varies time to time. I think depending on how your etheric energy body, how it's feeling. Let's just say in that any given moment, because things are constantly in flux. They're always changing. If there's something that's not completely consistent, it would be energetics in the fourth or fifth dimension, as opposed to energy matter, the way that functions here in this physicality, in this current 3D, what we call 3D plane. Anyways, digressing. The jetpack blower crew of whatever how many people are out there is finally stopped, and again, I hope that wasn't recording. I'll probably watch this video over again and not upload this if you can't hear me. Okay. All right. So the way you perceive your astral sight in that moment as you're entering into the astral structure, the way it perceives this grid, so to speak, is just not as a flat plane. So if you're going through, sorry if I'm getting confusing. Let me back up a little bit. So again, you're going OBE, astral projection, through your crown chakra, straight out top of your head. What I have found is that when you go out that way, a lot of times as you move into the astral structure, that whole horizontal plane that you see with other astral projections, what it does is it changes its shape. Okay, it's almost like the whole plane is flat. It's a flat horizon, and then it's almost like the from the sides or something, it kind of curls up like this. It curls up, and then it turns into kind of like more of a large, like an astral tube like structure. Okay, there's sometimes different colors. Sometimes it's dull in color. Sometimes it's really bright with a lot of different colors. There's always kind of a darker grayish kind of grid-like pattern. that's associated with these astral plane structures, or now in this case, an astral tube structure. I've mentioned astral tubes before, I think in one other video, but but I didn't go into it deeply. You know what I mean? Like really in depth like this. Um, so um, anyways, so what happens is that when I find that when you're going into the astral plane structure through a top of your head or crown chakra type of projection, um, it's like when you go through the tunnel, right, or the tube structure. As you are moving through it, you're looking at the same grid-like pattern with different entrances on that plane, on that layer, going into other realities and worlds and I call them like sub realities, or like underground realities, like as if, one of the entrances was leading into, let's say, the earth, like let's say this reality. but then but you go in there, but then there's also other entryways that go through that reality that go down below it. Does that make sense? So it's like you're going underground, but just in a different, whole different reality, in a different dimension. um and but what I'm trying to say is that, so when the astral tube structure, more or less, is the same thing as if you see a horizontal flat plane, grid like structure with different entryways. um, so so they're the same. It's the same thing. It's just that the experiences are perceived differently, because of how you're getting out of your body, and what type of which one of the primary chakras are being super activated. Um, during that astral projection. Now, the different chakras can be super activated just spontaneously, or by accident, or unintentionally. Obviously too. um, because the larger reality and the multidimensional aspects to our auric field and everything else is going on beyond the physical body are essentially natural. It's a normal, natural thing that we're just part of. We're just not privy to the information. We're not, really taught these kinds of things in our public educational system, or by our government, or by, our mainstream scientists and that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, I don't want to make this video too long, but because it takes longer to upload. But I hope you're kind of understanding. Sorry, I was just really distracted by all the jetpack blower guy people running around my property or something. I don't know what was going on there halfway through the video. But hope I'm kind of making sense here. If I'm not making any sense, please just ask questions in the comments. Give me my feedback. I'm still just trying to just find a way to just really describe what I'm trying to say. And I think I'm getting better at it. I think I'm getting it out there better and better as I keep doing it and practicing. So, like, let me give you another example of how that perspective of how we see the entranceway into these astral plane structures and planes themselves, because there's multiple tiers or levels to the astral structure. But I'm talking about just initially kind of getting into it, right? If you get out, like, let's say you get out with your solar plex or your heart, like the stomach or front part of your body, and you're totally utilizing energetically that part of your etheric body during the process of everything, which is then also tied into your astral projection, your astral body, all these other things. Then that's when I notice, like, if I'm leaving my body through the front side of my body, the perspective of the astral plane structure is that horizontal just a horizontal plane kind of thing with the grid lines and stuff. So it immediately just goes to that, you know. And so hopefully with this video, the perspective and the personal experience of what I'm seeing is kind of helping you, visualize or understand the structure aspect of it. Um, Also, before I end this video, when you're let's go back to the tube, the astral tube-like structure. Okay, the tunnel-like structure. So many different tunnels and portals. It's crazy. Um, uh, when you're going through that and you're moving through it, right? It's just another way to go navigate the astral plane structure. And what you'll notice is, well, what I notice is there's these like electronic sounding tones, like they sound like a keyboard, kind of like, or a piano, like piano notes and stuff. A keyboard's a keyboard playing, but it's not a keyboard. You know, it's something else. I don't know what it is exactly. The best way I could describe it is just as different tones. Different tones. It's sound. I'm hearing sound, and it's tones. And I noticed that when you go through the tube-like structure and you're moving through different entrances into different, areas of the astrals, I noticed that when you go over certain types of entrances or move past them, they sometimes have their own unique pattern or melody of different synchronized tones, and sometimes the tones are slow, like they're playing out slowly, like a slow tempo, and then sometimes the tones are really sped up, really like a huge, like a really fast tempo, it's like really, really fast, faster than like all the music you hear on the radio, or and it has like a kind of a digital, electronic kind of sound to it, and the way it vibrates out and stuff. It almost makes you feel like you're traveling like through the internet or something. It's like super digital in a way. It's crazy. Um, but um, but yeah, so these tones, I've noticed that when you get really high up into the astral plane structure, you just keep going and going and going. As long as your energy bodies, especially your etheric bodies, is doing well, it's functioning well, you have the ample amount of energy, in that moment to just kind of keep going. And sometimes if your etheric body isn't cooperating with you enough, and it's not supplying the energy for the experience, so to speak. Sometimes I'll get to a certain point on that astral tube entryway structure, and the colors will kind of die out. The brilliant, very the yellows and the oranges and the greens and the purples, and like it'll just kind of fade away, and I'll just kind of just subtly see like kind of a blackish grayish little lines and stuff that kind of like outline the grid structure of the pattern of it. But it's like diminishing, and then those tones, they do the same thing. They diminish also. You can barely hear them anymore, and then usually my projection stops at some point, or I got to stop, and then if I go back in reverse, things kind of liven up again, and then I'm able just to pick a certain entryway and just dive right through it on a certain part of the geometry of it. And there's a lot of geometry patterns, and the geometry is like on the entryways themselves with different colors, and it's almost like you can kind of enter through like different parts of it. It gets complicated. I know, maybe that's another video. Anyways, this video is past 20 minutes now, and I have to actually get ready for work in a few minutes. So I'm gonna stop it now. I hope I kind of touched on some of those inner perspectives, or well, I mean, some of this information isn't like 100% secret, so maybe I shouldn't call it astral secrets. But I just thought that sounded cool. So, all right, I'll talk to you soon. Have a nice day. Peace.